Welcome to Miss Stories in Crime. I'm your host, Melissa Thompson. Today marks 69 days since Summer Moon Utah Wells has gone missing. And boy, guys, do we have a lot to talk about. Last night, Chris McDonough from the interview room did another Summer Wells disappearance update for us. And if you will, he went back to the past to go over Donald Wells' behavior in his past, which may be indicative of what's going on right now in the present, and indicative of the things leading up to Summer Moon Utah Wells' disappearance. Okay, so before Chris McDonough went live on the interview room, Donald was pre-recorded on another channel that I refuse to say their name because it just baffles me how these people stand behind this man. But let's talk about something. In my opinion, it seemed Donald and this channel seemed very, very worried about what Chris McDonough was going to talk about last night. Because originally, Chris McDonough's video was titled 40 Crucial Minutes. Now, we've had some indication about where the 40 minutes could have come from. His drive home, the 40 minutes he claims that he was speaking to a coworker. Okay, there's been a few examples of where, and it could even follow somewhere in Candace's timeline. But Donald Wells was pre-recorded on this channel talking about what this 40 minutes could entail. And they seemed to come up with the idea that it was his time on the way home, the 40 minutes. That was their guess, okay? But Donald seemed very upset, and he was trying to combat whatever Chris was going to come out with by getting ahead of the situation and talking about it first. Now, he made some new revelations yesterday. Let's just say that you guys, this is why people don't believe him. Because last night, are you guys ready for this? On that other channel, not Chris McDonough's channel, he said now that he made it home in 25 minutes. He was 45 minutes away, but he now made it home in 25 minutes. He wasn't stopped behind any traffic. He didn't hit any traffic lights. My, how is that so convenient for Donald now that he's made it home in 25 minutes? And before Chris McDonough came out and said that when Donald came home, he actually passed law enforcement when he was going to the shed before he went home. And before that, he had said that he made it home before authorities got there. But when Chris McDonough told him that he actually passed a police vehicle, he changed his story. So now we've heard different times of when he got home. And now he's added that the neighbor across the street, their driveways are directly across from each other. He said last night on the other channel that this woman heard a scream, and she said it was such a horrendous scream that she can't get it out of her head. Now, why is this the first time we are hearing about this, you guys? It's been 68 days yesterday when he came out with this information. Why is it the first time we're hearing about a scream now? Is he making this stuff up as he goes, or what? I mean, shouldn't that have been talked about from the beginning, that there was a scream heard? I mean, you know, he keeps adding and adding and adding information to the story, or he changes the timeline of the story. Now, also something that was mentioned on the other channel, when he talked about it took him 25 minutes home, he said that the Subaru does have GPS, and he wanted to make sure that we all knew his cell phone was on him at all times that day. Okay? And there's a program in the Subaru, I believe it was called Starlink. And so he believed because due to that program and due to the GPS, that he has an alibi for that day. But I think that when authorities went through the vehicles, they downloaded everything that they could. And then they're getting the search warrants and everything through and waiting for data to come back from that company that is, programmed into the Subaru. Because we're seeing that in the Barry Morphew case right now, where they have all of this evidence of when he opened his truck door, when he closed the door, when he started moving. These computers are very sophisticated in cars to let you know what you are doing and when. So that all came up, and that other channel also did not want to discuss what happened last night on Chris McDonough's The Interview Room. So let's get into that right now. Chris McDonough interviewed Jeannie. Jeannie is Donald Wells' stepsister. And listening to that last night, I was in tears. I support this woman so much. I stand for her. If I could stand with her right now, I would. I'd be holding her hand and helping her to stand and telling her that there are so many people out here that support her. She went into quite a bit of detail, as much as she could, about the essay she experienced from Donald Wells. From the time she was 5 years old, you guys. Now let that sink in for a minute. She was 5. And he said that, you guys need to remember this. He said that she instigated the relationship. It was as much as her fault as it was his. How does a 5-year-old instigate an SA relationship? Can you tell me that? Because I can't understand that. She was hysterical last night. It was very painful. You can tell how it was for Jeannie telling what happened to her 37 years ago and the incredible abuse she went through from this man. I mean, she said at 5 years old, he was 12 to 13 years old. And this kept going for 7 years until he was sent to prison when she finally got a reprieve from him. He not only did this to Jeannie, he did this to Mary. And he did this to Jeannie's friend who slept over that one night. And they discussed that. Now, we do not know her name, but Jeannie mentioned last night that he has done this to several women. Okay? This is Donald's behavior from Jeannie. Jeannie said that she has multiple witnesses that have either been SA'd by Donald or have witnessed his SA behavior. And we also found out on the interview room last night that Donald's biological mother married a man named Kelly, who was a stepfather then, who SA'd the other sisters in that family. Pretty compelling there. And now we're understanding possibly where Donald may have learned this behavior. And Chris McDonough discussed that last night. There's a pattern here. There's a pattern between the stepfather. You know, we have to look at Candace's side of the family on this too. Candace's mother's brother has SA charges against him, okay? So it's on both sides of the family. And of course, we know that Donald's oldest son has an SA past too, which he went to prison for, okay? So we are definitely seeing a pattern here. Now, I'm sure Donald is going to come out and say a bunch of crap against Jeannie. And I just want all of you to know that we need to stand behind Jeannie on this. You know, whatever Jeannie needs from all of us, we need to be standing with her, because it took a lot of courage for her to come forward when Summer went missing. Because you have to remember, the SA started with her at 5 years old. Summer was 5 when she went missing, you guys. That, you know, I don't tend to believe in coincidences, especially when I see situations like this. There is something going on here, and there is definitely profiling involved here, which I wish I knew more about. I'd love to study it more, because there is definitely something with behavioral analysis. It's been proven to work in the past by profiling people to get a read on somebody. And, you know, we all have something that we could tell in another person to some extent. But, you know, I don't understand how these people are supporting Donald after hearing Jeannie's story last night and saying that what he did to Jeannie and her stepsisters doesn't have anything to do with Summer. Are you kidding me? How could we not go there and think that it's possible that Donald was essaying Summer? It's possible. There's a possibility. We don't know that because we have not found Summer, which is driving all of us insane. What happened to this beautiful little girl? So I am sure we are going to hear a lot from Donald about Jeannie in the coming days, weeks. And I am really, really interested to hear what Chris McDonough says happened in the 40 minutes. Remember, he says the 911 call came in at 6:23 p.m. At 7:03 p.m., search and rescue were en route to the Wells' property to start looking. So there is 40 minutes there. What happened in 40 minutes? And, you know, when we listen to the scanner footage, we hear that Candace went for a walk and then came back in 2 minutes and Summer was gone. And then it's 5 minutes. Like, do these people keep their story straight, you all? I'm just like, I can't understand these people. But it's everyone else's fault. You have to remember that. Nothing is their fault. Now, also, I want to mention to you, Donald has been spending his time talking to the neighbors. He seems to be putting the blame on a lot of his neighbors. And he says, I've been finding out some interesting stuff. So his number one suspect right now is his coworker. And now last night he went back to the Dobbs guy who bought the property that's right next door. And he's the one that changed his appearance the next day. Okay? So he goes back and forth on who he thinks it is. But what he remains clear on is that she was definitely abducted. They threw her in a car and they took off fast. And yesterday, on the other channel, Donald Wells was asked, well, did the dog trail scent end at the end of your driveway? Or did it end at the end of the dog trail? And do you know what his answer was? Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, he had seemed to be so convinced that the dog scent ended at the end of the dog trail, which is back by the creek, okay? So now, why are you confused, Donald, as to where the dog scent ended? And I also started to think about, I've been going over his drive home. If your child was missing, wouldn't the first thought be to get home? Why did he pass his home and head to the shed? Was there something he wanted to get out of the shed? Was there something he wanted to hide out of the shed? Because he wanted to go to that shed and by the creek. And he seemed as though, in my opinion, that he didn't want his boys around when he was at that shed because he chased them back home, if you remember, in his own words. So was there something involved in the shed? Because even Chris McDonough picked up on something with the sheds. I mean, there's multiple sheds on that property, but wouldn't your first instinct be to go home if your child is missing? Why past your home, especially if you knew the last place she was at home? Wouldn't you think that you would stop there, talk to your wife, talk to your boys, talk to your mother-in-law? But no, he goes to the shed. So what was Donald doing at the shed? And remember this, you guys, when he doesn't want to tell you the truth, it's, I don't know, I don't remember, or he deflects. You know, he won't answer your question. Because when Chris McDonough was asking him the age difference between him and Jeannie, oh, I don't know, he says. You know, there was an age difference, but he didn't want to answer that because he knew how guilty that made him. So there's definitely something, because when he was asked what he did at the shed, I don't know. I don't know if I went in. I don't know what I did. You know, what do you know, Donald? Because your story is either changing or you don't know or you don't remember or you deflect. And then yesterday, you went on your religious tangents because I'm pretty sure you're not religious. It's just jailhouse religion to me. And that, also, it kind of reminded me of the Daybell situation because he talked about that this is the end of days, you all, and that him and his children and his wife, they'll all be reunited, and yeah, it's that kind of situation. He also discussed how him and Candace's relationship is not that well. Like, they're not doing well together. Does that surprise any of you? I think, you know, either they both know the situation that's going on or they're blaming each other, which possibly it could be both. And it seems like Grandma Candy doesn't want anything to do with any of this. She just seems to want to stay far, far away from this. And I still think that it's possible she knows more than she's letting on. And maybe that's why she took off. Maybe she just doesn't want to deal with this anymore. So I'm just curious as to wonder what you think about Donald going around interviewing his neighbors, because I'm sure the TBI is very curious about that situation. Like, what is he up to? And how is he so sure that she was grabbed that quickly, thrown in a car, and they're nowhere in sight? Because to me, in my opinion, I think she's close to the property where she is. And one more thing I wanted to discuss with you was that I can't remember exactly what the search group was called. I'm sure you guys have seen the video of them supposedly finding wrist ties. They found a toy of Summer's and some hair. I don't know what the deal is with that, but you know, that was not handled very well. But Donald said he did not call them in. Now, they were pretty sure Donald was going to give them an interview. And then when the other channel asked him about this, he goes, oh, no. I never invited them to look for anything. And I am not granting an interview. So, just in my opinion, Donald seems scared and worried right now. He is worried what is going to be found out. And that's why he's trying to get ahead of all of this. He's scared of Chris McDonough. And that's why he likes to throw Chris McDonough under the bus. Because Chris McDonough knows what kind of person Donald Wells is. After you did what you did to Jeannie, in her own words, listening to that story, You are a coward and a pathetic man, in my opinion. You know, you aren't a man at all, actually, in my opinion. You're the slime scum at the bottom of the ocean that even the fish wouldn't touch. You're disgusting, in my opinion. And, you know, your past does reflect who you are. And I'm sorry to say that, but I don't believe there's any rehabilitation for you. What you did, and God knows how many victims are out there who have not come forward yet to tell their side of the story. But Jeannie, if you're listening, I stand with you. And whatever you need, we are here for you. You are stronger than you even know. You are. To do what you did for the little girl, Summer, you know, who you say is your niece, and she is. You knew right away to call TBI and tell your story, no matter how much it hurt you inside to go over those painful details. You, Jeannie, are a hero, and your daughter Trish is a hero in my book too. And Donald, you're nothing but a POS, in my opinion. So let's talk about what's going on with Donald versus Chris, because Chris just won round number 2 to me. And Donald, I think the truth is coming for you. The truth is starting to come out, and you're scared, my friend. Oh, no, sorry. Nix that. You are not my friend. You would never be my friend. You are nobody's friend. You are horrible to me. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. I will be looking more into this case, and as I see more information come out, I will be sure to let you all know. I hope you are well, and I hope you have a beautiful, blessed week ahead, and I will talk to you real soon. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.